This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Hello, welcome to Stock Box. Today I'm joined by John Teeling, the chairman of Arkle Resources plc. Hi, John.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Beautiful weather here today in the UK.
I believe, but it's overcast. We had a beautiful weekend. So the 2 days of summer, I hope they haven't gone. We've had a hard summer. Very wet.
Well, we're being promised another 2 more days. We'll see if it extends further than that. But I'm here to talk to you about your recently released RNS. Now, you have been providing an update on your lithium exploration program in Botswana. But before we get into the news, could you just introduce the project again, why Arkle acquired it? Can you just give us the background there?
I will indeed. Firstly, we have a lot of experience in Botswana and Zimbabwe over the last 30 or 40 years with other companies. We were finding that our Irish projects, which we'll talk about, where we have zinc, gold and lithium, were not being regarded by the stock market, as you can see, we're very lowly valued. And we decided we had to look abroad. And Botswana is a country we know quite well. It is very stable, strong rule of law, good title, all the things that you really want. And they have salt pans. Now, I'll explain this, and this is what they look at. I know it won't come across too well, but that's what a salt pans are.
Just lift it up for us a little bit there, John.
Right.
Yeah.
So what it is a river. The Okavango River comes down and doesn't flow into the sea, flows into the Kalahari Desert, and actually disappears into the sand. And there's a salt cover over part of it. There's 24,000 square kilometers in that particular salt pan in the north of Botswana. And we thought about looking for brines there. Now, lithium tends to come in hard rock lithium, where we have 3 licenses in Zimbabwe, and we have some discoveries in hard rock in Ireland as well, spodumene. More difficult to work, higher cost. And there's more processing until you get it to the stage of turning it into batteries, is what basically is the demand for lithium. Yeah. And we had a look at, was there any possible lithium in the salt pans of Botswana? And it was early stage, and it took us a long time because, of course, the government wasn't sure. They're happy to let us go, but they didn't know anything about lithium either in their country. They're diamonds and copper, particularly diamonds. And so we got 2 licenses, which are about 970 square kilometers, which is a lot.
Yes.
So, and we're looking for brines, where you take out some, as the rivers disappear, you get maybe a layer, and then your evaporation takes away. So you have a layer of maybe, and you probably can't see it there, the layer of maybe 2 or 3 kilometers of hard kind of rock type, but basically
just hold that back a little bit for us, and then we can see it well. Yeah, a little bit further back, and then we've got
that there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's what you have to do. So we were lucky to get the licenses, and they're good terms of Botswana, and we've been very happy in Botswana over the last 20 years in our other companies. And so we did a thing called this transient electrical magnetics.
That's right.
Transelectric magnetics.
The TEM, yeah.
TEMs, yeah. We did it 4 lines over the block. Now, this was innovative for us because they hadn't really explored in Botswana. We used some of our current guys that we've had working on other areas. Our first 2 lines look good. What we were trying to find out, what does the geology look like? What is under that layer of salt, which is probably about 3 meters, only about 3 meters deep, and it's soft and mushy underneath. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the mushy.
Yeah. So you've just recently completed the TEM survey.
It looks as if the 4 lines have identified that the structure you need underneath the brines, or underneath the salt, continue across the block. They've an average depth of 30 meters. Now, that's very significant. That's quite significant, because there's the possibility they will be soft, watery type stuff. Now we have to dig into that, find out, take some of it out. And that'll be happening shortly. We're actually going to go out and do a fairly simple study to go into the brines. Either if we have to excavate below the salt, take out the brines, send them to be analysed to see do they contain lithium, and possibly, that's the critical thing, and possibly have a look at the grade. Now, they won't mean much for a small sample, other than to say it contains lithium. Now, I think we would want to be very unlucky not to contain lithium, because some work was done north of us about 6 years ago, and there was lithium in the brines, and then they stopped. They ran out of money.
Right.
So the next stage, which will start very short, it's not a big deal, is we're going to send people in. We will go to an area where we know we have 30 meters. We will dig down and take up basically buckets of if you like, salty water, though it will be more thick than that. Send that to Johannesburg, where they say they can analyze it. A company called ALS, which is a big worldwide company, and they will tell us what's in it.
Yes.
Then the expectation is that we will have to do a proper sampling survey over, if not all of the block, which would be quite a big undertaking, at least 50% of the block. And it's better turn off something there. And that will be the next stage, which will take some time, and it would require a bigger team on that. But it's very positive for us, and we're really quite excited about it, because it's a big area. We have the brines. I would say to you, we're going to get the lithium because of prior work, but we will prove that in the next couple of months.
So the samples of the brines have been collected and they're being analysed.
Will be collected and they'll be analysed in the Johannesburg. They say they can now. I hope they can, because there are not many people doing that in Southern Africa. If not, it'll either have to be shipped to Perth or shipped to Vancouver, probably Perth, where they have labs that can analyse it.
So when do you expect this to start? When would you expect the results?
We have the agreement made, and we know what we're going to do. If you can ideally, we should do this in the winter, which is Botswana time now.
Yes.
In December in Botswana, it'd be 50 degrees in the salt pans, and that wouldn't be easy to do. Dig holes at 50 degrees. So we'll do that over the next couple of months maximum. Now, once we can get going on that.
And what kind of temperatures are out there at the moment?
Oh, beautiful. Freezing cold at night, but 20s in the day.
Right, so it's perfect for...
Yeah, and while it is remote, it's very lucky in that it's north of the Kalahari Desert, and there have been a couple of big mines just south of that. So you would fly to Arapa or drive to Arapa from the capital, and we can actually then commute in and out of the site in the same day. You can drive early in the day, do the work, and come back and stay in the village or the town that evening, which really saves on the mobilization and demobilization costs.
So this is early stages of exploration of this property. So what will it take to start the economic viability and future potential of the project? What are we looking at there?
Well, now you're asking me, and I have to be very careful here. Now, there's 970 square kilometers, which we think are underlain by 30 meters of brines. That's big.
Yes.
And if there is any kind of economic indication of the lithium, you would look at a new process called direct lithium extraction, DLE, and that's kind of the state of the art. That what you would do is you would take it, put it through a process, and get the actual lithium hydroxide straight out of it, and you would sell a product. That is the holy grail, and they're just starting those technologies in other parts of the world. A sister company in Bolivia is looking at that, and that's what we would hope at something this size. If it's a very big if, it's an exploration company. If it is anyway good, this is a company maker. Now, please, can I step back from that and say, firstly, we have to find that there's lithium in it.
Yes.
And then we have to find that there are economic grades in it. They are two big ifs. But if we didn't have the brines, we couldn't have the lithium. If we didn't have the lithium, we can't have the economic grades. So that's where we're going to go. We'll know in 2 months' time whether it contains lithium. I would be very, very surprised if it doesn't. And it should be across the block.
So you've clearly mapped out for us there the step-by-step process.
Oh, yeah, we have to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
And we actually have a detailed work program as to how to do the sampling, the next stage, which would be expensive, and we'd have to probably, and I wouldn't imagine we'd have any trouble getting a partner at that. People looking for lithium, as you know, it's completely dominated by the Chinese at the moment, both on our other 2 blocks in Zimbabwe and in Ireland on the spodumene. But we would hope that we wouldn't have any problems bringing in somebody to work with us there.
Yeah. But while we're here, John, let's also get an update on Stone Park with the recent announcement of the drilling programme beginning now with Group 11. What have been the recent significant developments at Stone Park, and what's the objective of this drilling that you're doing right now?
Well, it's interesting that this is a very current project. It's like buses. You wait for a long time, then two of them come along at the same time. It's the same as the lithium is one, where we're very active on that. And Stone Park is going to be very active over the next 3 or 4 months. They've been working very hard on Stone Park. Put it in perspective again for you. Ireland is a zinc province. Yes. Zinc is $2,600 a ton at the moment, so highly profitable if you have it. Some of the biggest mines in the world were in Ireland. There was a discovery 90 miles southeast of Dublin in Limerick, which some of your people will know where that is, by a company we were involved with, Minco, many years ago. It's now owned by Glencore. They 45 million tons of zinc bearing ore in that at about an 8% grade. We got licenses in originally, which was Arkle's original company was Connemara. So we had a number of zinc licenses before we did anything else. Right next door, literally across the main road from Dublin to Limerick. One side is Palace Green, which is Glencore. Across the road is Stone Park, which was us 100%. And we joint ventured that with Teck, the big tech company, and found some very good zinc. We have about 5 million tons of the JOC resource at about 11%, which is very good. That's very good. Now, the company that bought out the tech interest was Group 11, a TSX company, Toronto company. They took a lot of licenses to the south east of us. I'm just getting my bearings, literally to the southeast. So they have the set of licenses exactly adjacent to Stone Park. They have Carrykittle, and beside that, a place called Ballywire. They have done a huge amount of work on those two licenses and on ours over the last number of years. There's some very exciting work, and currently their share price is doing very well. And the hope, I don't know anything, so I can't tell you, is that the current holes they're drilling, the results due from a couple of holes in Ballywire, which is about 10 kilometres from our block, could be good. Otherwise, something has gone wrong. The share has done very well. So you have Ballywire, you have Carrykittle, and you have Stone Park.
Yes.
The hope would be that this structure extends through the two. And it's going northwest directly from Ballywire, Carrykittle, Stone Park into Glencore, into the big Palace Green deposit. So what they've done is they've been doing some work. They drilled holes in 2022 on our block, and we've a 24% interest in this. They're the operator. They drilled and they found some very interesting discoveries very close to Carrykittle. And what they're doing now, based on the results they've had in the last 2 years on their own blocks, they're going to drill 4 holes in the southern part of our block, a suite of holes across, basically to see is the mineralization extending into that particular thing. And you'd have reasonably good expectations. It should be there. I mean, 4 holes now is a serious enough operation. They will be drilled in this quarter. And worst case scenario, we would expect that at least a couple of them will contain mineralization, which will help to define further drilling, probably a bit deeper. But these are maybe 300 or 400, 300 to 400 meter holes. So it's, again, very exciting for the next few months.
Yes. And when can you mentioned that it'll be drilled this quarter. When can we expect the results on that?
It was meant to be, I've just got an update this morning. They are intending to drill. They'll move the rigs when they finish naturally. When they finish the holes they're doing on the adjacent licenses, they'll move them up and they will stay there until it's finished. So it will certainly happen before the end of the year. Now, there's 4 or 5 months on that. Ideally, you'd finish it before the short days in December. And then the results could be out. So it'd probably be the end of the year earliest, or early 2024. But the fact that they're drilling the holes is very good.
Yes. Well, it's wonderful, John, and it's great to hear the progress that's happening at Arkle. And no doubt you'll be joining us again soon with more updates to let us know how it's all going.
A pleasure to do it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time today.
All the best. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.